You can raise your vibration so you can manifest more powerfully. And this is just something that I have learned over the last 5 years since I had my spiritual awakening, of very physical, practical things you can do to change your frequency, change your state, so you can create in a more powerful way. I'm super scientific, I'm a big geek, and I'm also super spiritual, so I have both of those hats that I'll put on today. We'll go pretty deep into the science, pretty deep into the spirit. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. When it comes to manifesting, when it comes to really creating something, do you think you're going to manifest more powerfully if you have loads of energy? Yeah? Do you think if you are like in bed, unwell, struggling to talk, do you think you're going to be a really powerful manifester in that moment? As good as you possibly could be? No, right, of course not. And so it's our duty, if we want to create these things, if we have a vision and we want to make it into something, to make sure our energy is as high as it possibly can be. Does that make sense? Cool. Now, Juliet came and did an amazing talk all about healing the gut, and that has been a big part of my journey too, is healing first. Like, make sure this physical body, this vehicle that we're in, is healthy and happy and can do its job. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the mind, because your mind is like the most amazing supercomputer that ever existed. Did you know your brain is more powerful than any supercomputer on the planet? Do you use it? Who uses their brain often? I'm joking. Maybe we use it like a calculator sometimes, right? Like, what percentage of our brain power do we think we're really tapping into?
7.
2. Bit of honesty, yeah. Yeah, we're scratching the surface, aren't we? Then we're going to talk a bit about our emotional manifesting abilities too. Because emotions, the way I make that mean, I have a book coming out in February, and so that's really exciting for me. I just sent my revisions to my publisher last night, so hoping that that's all good and we can like get it out as soon as possible. One of the things I talk about a lot is these things and emotions. For me, I make it mean energy in motion. If you want to manifest powerfully, if you want to create, you need to use your emotions. So we're going to talk about how do we use the emotions. Who loves music? Anyone love music? Cool. The best pieces of music, or most of them, they're made from emotion, right? They make you feel something when you listen to it, right? A lot of them, my favorite ones do anyway, and movies and books and these things, they come from emotion. But what do we teach to do with our emotions in this society? Right. So do you think that's going to make you a powerful manifestor if you are suppressing all of this energy? Absolutely not. So how can we unleash that and free that? And again, that's been my play of figuring that out, coming from a place where I kept my feelings to myself. I used to be involved in like drugs and gangs and violence and that kind of thing, and so you have to keep your cards close to your chest in those spaces. And my mum and dad actually met in the Hells Angels motorcycle gang. If you know those people who have the Harley Davidsons and the leather jackets, that's my mum and my dad. And so in those kind of spaces as well, it's kind of, if you start really showing people your sensitive side, maybe some people might not think you're as tough as you might, whatever, right? Nonsense that used to be important for some people, but I don't really care about that, so it's all good. So we're going to talk about how we can play with emotions, and then the final piece, there's 4 pieces, the final piece we're going to talk about is spirit. How can we use these universal forces that we all have access to, but most of us don't know how to use? How can we use them to amplify the things that we're doing? Because our human is beautiful and amazing and such a good instrument. I think it's like a musical instrument in a way, right? We can create with it, but there's a whole other, look, there's all of you instruments here as well, right? And there's all these other forces that maybe we can't even see with our eyes. Does anyone believe in angels and energy and souls and spirits? Yeah, all of that, cool. So there's all these different forces, whatever you want to call them, that we can utilize as well. But we have to learn how. So that sounds like a lot for a one talk, you think? So let's do it. We excited? Yeah. Are we ready? Cool. So I've run these workshops all over the place. I've been running events now since 2016. I figured out that I was not happy in my corporate career. I got to a very high level in corporate. Nice house, car, money, everything you're supposed to want, power, right? But I was miserable. It's empty. I think it's Jim Carrey says he hopes everybody gets what you think you want in life, so you realise it's actually not important, you know? And I was like, whoa, these aren't even my dreams, this isn't even my goals, I'm not fulfilled here. So I set off on this path. I lived in Newcastle at the time. I quit my job, I broke up with my girlfriend, and I moved to London, started afresh. Started going to events just like this, meeting people who were actually happy, people who were actually like connected. And I'm like, oh, teach me, like, how are you so happy? And then I met this beautiful lady called Lynn, and she told me she talks to angels. I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm open, that's nice. And she was happy though, which is cool, right? So, okay, teach me. So she taught me this thing called Reiki. Does anyone know about Reiki? Yeah. It's an energy healing technique. So she initiated me into this energy healing and started me on this path of just getting more and more connected and being able to develop these different gifts and abilities. But what really happened that changed everything was in June 2016. I was in Vietnam. I'd just spoken on stage in front of 500 people. It was this event called Financial Growth Summit. Very serious. Ties, the suits and everything, right? And it's just basically helping people become financially free, so how they can build businesses and how they can do different things. So I was talking about all about taking action, because I was corporate, right? Taking action and goals. And I was cute back then. I called him Business Luke. It's like a different version of me from my past life. He's right. He was a bit serious. Yeah. Bless him. But that was what he was taught was important. But it was actually coming from a wound. He wanted to be successful because he came from a place where there wasn't a lot of money, and his mum used to cry about money, and he didn't want his mum to cry anymore. So he thought, if I become really successful, then I can take care of my family and then my mum won't cry. Which is nice, right? But his whole life was built up to this place from a wound. And then, boom, Vietnam. Really high vibe. I was so full of energy. By the pool, I do this meditation that Lynn actually sent me. It's called guardianangel.mp3. Takes you on a journey to meet your guardian angel, and I've never met anything like that before. I did this meditation. Close your eyes, you connect to the earth, and there's these things called chakras, earth, star, chakra. She got me connecting to it. It felt kind of good, but I didn't know what it meant. Then you go up and you connect to this soul star and all these different things up, and that felt really good as well. And then you go to this place. It's all in your imagination, but it doesn't really feel like your imagination, if anyone knows what I mean. It feels really real. You go to this place and then you sit down, and then an angel comes to meet you. And an angel came and met me. And he was real. Like, it wasn't imagined. You can't imagine something like that. I've never imagined something so real and vivid. It's like just being sat here and I could talk to him and he could talk to me. And it was cool. It was weird. It was fun. And it was just life-changing. And after that, my science brain had to understand how this works. So I did another meditation. I sat by the pool and like, how does this work? How can this, because my whole world was crumbling, like, this doesn't make any sense. How can I can't talk to angels, can I? Is that possible? Can people do that? Like, Lynn said she could, but now I can do it too. Wow, this is kind of crazy. And this voice started speaking to me in my head. A different voice I've never heard before. It told me that everything happens for a reason. And I said, no, it doesn't. I said, that's some spiritual BS that spiritual people just say so they can avoid taking responsibility. Well, everything happens for a reason, it's fine, I don't need to worry about it. It's all divinely perfect. And he said, this voice, he felt masculine. It said, think about it logically, like scientifically, really break it down. So I did. in science, you look at both perspectives, right? So if everything happens for a reason, the other perspective is that everything must be random, chaos, no order to it. So maybe you want to try this. Maybe you just want to close your eyes for a second, take some deep breaths into your body. And just try this on as a possibility. Take a deep breath into your belly and think about your life and the things that have happened to your life from that perspective that everything is absolute chaos. There's no patterns, everything's random, stuff is just happening. And feel how that feels in your body. Does that feel true to you? Is that aligned with your inner knowing of how things really, really work? Because for me it wasn't. And so then I said, okay, show me if everything happens for a reason. Maybe you want to try this again. Just take a deep breath into your belly. Just try on the possibility that everything in your life happens for a reason, that there's some kind of order, there's some kind of pattern to it, that the experiences you've been through have led you to this point where you can create these things. And feel how that feels in your body. Does that feel more aligned with where you're at? And there's no good or bad or right or wrong. Whatever you feel is what you feel, and that's cool. For me, it was that one. What happened though, and you can open your eyes if you'd like to, what happened for me was this thing clicked inside me. And if you ever heard when there's a near-death experience, people say your whole life flashes before your eyes. You heard about that? So that was what happened. My whole life flashed before my eyes in a moment, and I saw every single thing that happened to me and why it had to happen so that I could be this public speaker who's standing on stage in Vietnam helping people and changing lives. Like, it had to happen in that way so I could have a story and a way to relate to people. Because I can help people who are from those kind of same backgrounds that I'm from, and I can help people who've been through big traumas, and I can help people who've got crazy families, and I can help people who have been in corporate, and all of that was important for me to get to this place. And so I had this inner knowing then that there's a plan. And I said, well, if there's a plan, there has to be a planner. And then boom, another click, but this time it went that way. And I got this connection, it went straight up, it went to this white light, love energy in the middle of everywhere. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever connected with. And I was just crying and shaking. My body didn't know how to process so much love. If you've ever had the experience or you know something like it, it was amazing. And these codes, you could call it, downloaded into me, these things happened. And I realized, whoa, I have just connected with Source or God or your highest self or whatever you want to call it. From that day, everything changed. I've been able to manifest things so fast. I've been able to create things in ways I never could before. And it's because I know now that it's not my human doing those things. My human is the vessel, right, for these things to come through, but there's something way bigger that is orchestrating the whole thing. And some people call it the universe. I have a friend who's very scientific and he does not spiritual at all. And he says, I don't believe in any of that. So we sat down and we start talking. And he calls it consciousness instead of spirit. But it's the same thing, it's just a different word. He says the universal forces instead of God. But it's the same thing, right? And so we're talking about the same thing, but just in different words. And I find most people can kind of get on board with it in some way. So we're going to talk about these 4 things. And if you do these 4 things, your whole life will change. And the story I just shared with you about the spiritual awakening, it will all make sense in a minute why you need to know that. Because the first thing you need to focus on if you want to be a powerful manifester is what I call your physical self. So I say there's 4 aspects of yourself. When I say that, I mean this book channeled through me. My fingers kind of typed themselves and it was amazing. So your physical vessel. Do we have any musicians in the room? Okay, beautiful. Does anyone like play guitar or woodwind or anything? Okay. What would happen if you just stuffed loads of crap inside your instrument and tried to play it? How would it sound?
It wouldn't work.
Right. But isn't that what we do? Don't we stuff loads of crap inside ourselves and then expect it to work like this amazing musical instrument? It doesn't. And there's a beautiful guy I just met called Philip, and he's does this harmonic sound healing for people. And he basically teaches, you know, we are this vibration, this wave, and you can use different sounds to heal different things. Our body creates these energies all the time. Every time your heart beats, you know, every time your heart beats, it sends out a pulse. So right now, your heart is beating, it's sending out a pulse, and everyone around you is feeling your energy. There's an institute called the Institute of Heart Math, and they're beautiful. They've done studies on the human heart, and they have these machines that can measure the radius of your heart and like heart field and how far it goes. So right now, according to them, every single person within this seating slot, you're in everybody else's heart field. And your hearts are talking to each other. Yeah.
Which is why they create social distancing.
Which is maybe why they want you to be 6 feet apart from people. Yeah, maybe. One of the reasons, I'm sure. So the more we clear our physical vessel, the better quality of vibration we will have. Does that make sense? When I was in Vietnam, I was there with one of my mentors, and I paid him £12,000 to join this one-year mentorship program. And basically, he taught me how to be a public speaker, he taught me how to create a business, he taught me all these great things, and it was a beautiful exchange. And we were out in Vietnam, and I was excited because I was a big gym goer back then. I used to be like over 3 stone heavier and like more muscle. Used to like a lot of food, a lot of meat. And I was in Vietnam, so I wanted to eat everything. It's what you do when you go on holiday, right? You want to eat everything. You want to try all the local foods. And I got there, and he told me he was doing a 3-day water fast. And he asked me if I wanted to do it. And a water fast is where you have no food, just water for 3 days. And I thought, I can't do that. Like, I might die, or I don't know, I might starve, I might lose some muscle. I don't know, what was I thinking? There's all these different thoughts came in. But he's my mentor, and I trusted him, and he said this was good for me, so I did it. I did that 3-day water fast. Actually a lot easier than you think it will be. Hunger is in your mind. So much of it, you think your belly rumbles and you think you're hungry. So everyone's scoffing their faces, right? 'Cause you haven't eaten in an hour, right? Which is we're funny, aren't we? And we think, oh, I'm starving, I need this. Do we? It's a question. So he invited me to do this 3-day water fast, and it was beautiful. Because I did that 3-day water fast, I cleared my vessel so much. It gets rid of all of the gunk that's in your belly. Your digestive system can't function when you have so much food in there. It has to have time to process these things. The water flushes you out. After that, I went to this island in Vietnam called Phu Quoc, and that was where I had my spiritual awakening. Now, I can't say that because I did that water fast, I had my spiritual awakening. I can't like say for definite that that was what helped me do it, but I can say it was a factor. Can't be a coincidence. I don't believe in that anymore. But I could have easily said no, couldn't I? And just kept eating all of the meat and the noodles and the pho and whatever else you have in Vietnam, right? But I chose a different path. I chose a high vibrational path. I chose a more aligned one, which was scary. And isn't it scary sometimes? So I did it and I got the reward. And I see this so often. The universe rewards people that take action. It rewards people who get committed, who make decisions, who are all in. Has anyone made like art before? Have you made a painting or anything? Yeah, sculpting, anything like that? It doesn't get done unless you commit to it. You have to show up. Like writing a book was a commitment. It's taken me 5 bloody years to get it out. And yesterday I did it. 5 years. Insane, really. And the universe offered me this chance to do this thing, to make this book. And I said yes. And I put the work in and I did it. So what are you being offered is a question. And are you committed? obviously you're here today, which is a great start, so I'll give yourself like a pat on the back. You're doing good, well done. You know, you're showing up. You could be anywhere on a Saturday and you're here because you want to find great people, because you want to learn more, because you want to improve yourself, because you want to get more connected, and whatever else reasons you're here for. So we have to really start looking at the physical vessel. A few things, just quick ones. You might want to write these down if you've got something to write down with. So, first thing you want to optimize your food. When I had my spiritual awakening, I could no longer consume poisonous foods. My body would not take meat. It would not take dairy. I don't have any refined white sugar. It doesn't like bread or anything that's gluten. Just does not like it. It feels like it really clogs me up. And when I would consume those things, I would feel awful. I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I used to get drunk like 3-4 times a week. Won't consume alcohol anymore. Won't let me take drugs. Won't do anything. All those things I used to do that I thought were fun, all stripped away. And obviously I could keep doing them if I wanted to, but I would know it would make me feel bad. It would lower my vibration, and then I'm not going to create the most powerful life. And so we always get to choose. You can choose to have that big bag of crisps. Maybe you choose that and you say, yeah, I know I'm going to eat that massive bag of crisps, of Doritos or whatever it is, and then I'm going to feel like crap for a bit afterwards, but I'm okay with that. That's cool. Or maybe instead you go and get one of James's nice salads.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just bought a smoothie machine, a cold press juicer last week, and so I'm on Juice Town now. I'm juicing everything. I'm juicing celery, I'm juicing watermelons, and it's so good. It fills you up so much. Having a big juice, you know, not like a little tiny juice, you have a big juice. It sorts you right out. It's only 80 quid for a juicer. Go get one. Start juicing. If you want to be the most powerful manifestor you can be. And if you don't, that's cool as well. You also want to optimize your water. Please turn to the person next to you and look them deep in the eye. Create a bit of intimacy with someone. Find someone, you want to just look at them in the eye. And if you would like to, again, everything is an invitation. I would love for you to say to them, do not drink tap water. Do not drink tap water. That is one of the biggest vibration lowerers you can possibly have. So many poisons in there, and they do it on purpose. They want you to be sick because then you're a good customer. And they just recently, like 2 weeks ago, they're putting fluoride in the water in the UK again. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It calcifies your pineal gland. It basically makes you spiritually numb. So please get a water distiller, get a reverse osmosis machine. Figure it out. They're not expensive. You can get them really cheap. Like, do it. I don't even shower in tap water. I have a special shower filter, which basically gets rid of all the chlorine and the fluoride and different things. It is that serious. I don't brush my teeth with tap water. Like, do not. Got it? Okay, that's that lecture over. So optimize your food, optimize your water. You want to optimize your breathing. Everyone take a nice deep breath into your belly. And out. How often are you breathing deeply?
Not as much.
No, everyone's shaking their head like, no, I don't. Right, so when you breathe deeply, you're increasing the oxygen that's in your body. You're helping your body to become more alkaline. You're helping your body to work at the optimal levels, and just making some time every day to just breathe. Everyone take a nice deep breath in. And out. Feels nice, right? Just do that for 10 minutes. You'll feel great. Some of you already look more relaxed. Wow, this is kind of nice. I like this breathing thing. And then the fourth thing around the physical is you want to optimize your exercise. I talk about getting out of breath at least once every day. Like, do something that makes you get out of breath. When you get out of breath, when your heart is pumping, know? It changes your biochemistry. It really moves things around your system. Whatever it is, Tony Robbins, one of the biggest public speakers, he has like a trampoline, you know, a little rebounder, it bounces, moves all this stuff in your body called lymph and different things. It's good for you. Just move, everyone. Just move. We don't move enough, whether it's yoga or jumping. Yeah, Juliet, so everyone have a little wiggle. You want to have a wiggle? It's like, shake it up a bit. It's basic stuff, right? But we don't do it. And so just imagine this, okay? You have this wonderful idea comes through for creating a business or creating it's a vision for changing the world or something, right? Something you can offer to the world that would be amazing, or a book or a painting or a song. You get the idea, but then you have no energy in your physical body. You don't want to go and get up and do the thing and make it happen, right? Because you're not feeling it physically. For me, this has been one of the top priorities. And I'm super happy now, super healthy, I'm full of energy. Most of the time, I do still have some down days. We live in a crazy world. Did anyone notice? It's like, people trying to poison us in so many ways. They're trying to poison us with all this radiation, and they're trying to poison us with all these people injecting themselves with crazy things. And it's like, everywhere you go, there's pollution in the air. It's like, so unless you live like in the forest or in a Tibetan mountain or something, you're susceptible to these toxins. And then Anna just did her talk, and now she's telling me there's toxins in the carpets, and so you can't even lie on the floor now. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And so we have to be detoxing our body. We have to be flushing this stuff out. It's up to you. An invitation to make your health a priority. Juliet, did you tell everyone to like make their health a priority? Did she give it to you all good? Yeah, can we give Juliet a big round of applause for being so amazing, please? Okay, so that's the physical side of things. Next up, we're going to talk about the mental side of things. Obviously, I only have an hour, so I'm just giving you like a whistle-stop tour of this stuff. I go into this in way more detail in my book. If anyone's interested in getting a copy, it will be coming out in February, so there's some forms at the back. You can put down your details and I'll add you to the waiting list, which is really cool. Mental, energy. Who here is an overthinker sometimes? Nice and high. Okay, look around, everyone, look around. Pretty much everybody. Why do we do that? Why?
It's consciousness in your mind. You've got a chat box in your brain, and it's just like we're constantly bombarded by social medias and stuff like that. So people don't know how to architect themselves no more towards the daily purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
ADHD.
Yeah.
All sorts of
So
stuff.
basically, we're always checking ourselves and saying, "Can we really do it?"
Yeah.
And you hear that voice and you go, "You won't, you know,
Yeah.
you think you're better than you are." And you just
All
always chatting to yourself.
all this crazy programming, absolutely. We're getting every second. We're so overwhelmed by these adverts. I was just driving from here. I came here yesterday, and I was driving back home. And there's a sign, big billboard, and it said, "Make sure to do a lateral flow test twice a week. Get into the habit." I'm like, what? I'm like, what? For no reason, even if you're not feeling any, like they want you to just start randomly testing yourself. Like they're crazy good at marketing, aren't they, those companies? They're going to make some serious bucks. But that's in my subconscious now. Now it's all in your subconscious. I'm sorry, I apologise. It's like, put it in the bin. But it's interesting, isn't it? How you're just driving around and they're all trying to get in your brain. So it's okay. It's like you've been brainwashed. It's okay. You've been programmed, and come to understand, like, we can heal from that.
But it's everywhere, so you can't really think on that. From those tests.
You can learn these coping mechanisms. You can learn how to reprogram and rewire your brain. I know it because I've done it. And this is taught in tribes. I had the benefit when I was like 18, 19 I started learning about human anatomy. I started learning about how different tribes work. I was just curious. It was actually, there's a little kid here. Hi, we're just going to talk about sex for a second, but it's a normal thing. So in tribes, when the kid turns 13, they start their sexual education. And I was curious, like, what do they teach these kids to do? And what they teach is like mindfulness, presence, how to be in your body at 13. Because what we teach kids is hypersexualized music videos, crazy things on the internet, random stories their friends tell, and so that's what's in their programming.
Yeah.
So in these tribes, they get these kids straight away to slow everything down. They encourage them to get to know their body, and like, how different is that? So they're given these tools from young kids. Most of us didn't have that. Maybe you did. Maybe you had some really cool hippie parents who like loved crystals and everything, and they got you into it. Maybe. Yeah. Everything comes with its pros and its cons, right? Everything has its challenges and its benefits. And what we can start to do ourselves, though, is we can take control, we can take power over our mind. I like to think about you being the master of your mind instead of your mind being your master. Most people just let their mind run the show. Whatever the mind says, that's what we're doing. That's what I used to do. It's really, really interesting for me to observe now this monkey mind, this chatter. It still comes up sometimes, but I know now it doesn't even sound like me. There's an NLP technique you can do. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. To reprogram that voice in your head, so mine sounds different now. But you can feel it's different anyway, but you can actually make it sound different. So if you look up NLP, you can do that. We could do that together if you want. I do help people like one-on-one to reprogram different things and activate themselves. But you can reprogram it. I also do hypnosis, so you can hypnotize yourself to rewire these things in your brain. You can also do things like meditation, mindfulness. I think it's one of the most important things you can possibly do right now. Did you have a question? I saw you popped your hand up.
Oh no, I was just talking about how like there was mental chatter and the overthinking is actually like it's being manipulated by marketing to use things that do protect us, because we're looking always to look for the bad.
Yeah. Oh, they're super smart. They know exactly how we're wired. They know how your brain works, and they know how to extract every single penny from you. Yeah, so we have, our brain is beautiful, our mind is supposed to keep us safe. It's like a survival tool, and it notices threats and it notices different things. We have something called the reticular activating system, and you can program this reticular activating system, and it basically says, okay, you focus on this a lot, so it's obviously really important to you, so I'm going to show you more of it. It's like a simple explanation of it. So if you buy a yellow car, all of a sudden everywhere you see yellow cars, because it says, wow, yellow cars are really important to you, and then you see them everywhere, right? Has anyone had something like that?
Yeah.
And so it works in the same way, but most of us don't program it positively, most of us are programmed negatively. Yeah.
I just wanted to add to what our friend said. I think that we forgot how to use our intuition, that somehow we bury it deeply in ourselves, and even we know what we should do, then we start overthinking rather than just do the first thing we thought about.
Yeah.
Right, really interesting. So who's heard that you should always follow your intuition? Who's heard you should always follow your gut? Which one is it?
Yeah.
I study a system called human design. It's one of the most beautiful personality profiling tools that there is out there. Very, very deep. I've been studying it for almost 5 years now. It will change your life. Some people have very amazing intuition and they should absolutely follow it. Some people have absolutely terrible intuition and they should not follow it. It gets you in so much trouble. Some people, according to this system, which I believe, I've done hundreds of sessions with clients and it's always true, I've never had anybody so far who said it's not true. Some people should absolutely follow their gut. They get this physical feeling in their belly or in their sacral. It's like an excitement energy and they should follow that. Other people, they should not follow that because it's going to get them in a lot of trouble. And so you will learn by trial and error, like which way works for you. And if you're a very spiritual, connected person, you'll probably have got to a place now where you're like pretty happy and you've figured it out. But you can go get a human design reading done. There's loads of people who do it. I do it. You can go online and get it done for yourself. There's a website called mybodygraph.com. It's completely free, mybodygraph.com. It will ask you your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. And it basically, based on the time and place you were born, determines how your DNA is set up. It's really, really cool. So, yeah, for me, intuition is one of my biggest superpowers. So in human design, it says intuition is one of your superpowers. So I follow my intuition. If I go against my intuition, I get in a load of trouble. But I know lots of people, when they follow their intuition, gets them in loads of bother. So what happens is people who are successful write these self-help books. I've just written a book, and I'm going to explain my system for success, but your system might be totally different. Maybe you can be inspired by it, maybe you can get excited about it, maybe some parts of it will be relevant, but maybe not all of it will. So my book is called Find Your Truth, because your truth is probably different to my truth. And isn't that exciting? Confusing? It's exciting. Wouldn't it be boring if we were all the same? So mental, you have so much energy every day that you can utilize. And you can access this infinite energy source, so you are able to tap into that when you know how. But most people, they don't know how. And so you wake up and you have a certain amount of willpower in a day. Some people call it your decision-making power. And every time you make a decision, it kind of depletes the tank a little bit. So a lot of the most successful, like billionaires and CEOs, have you noticed they always wear the same clothes? Yeah. So they don't have to decide what clothes to wear. They only have one outfit. Because they don't want to use their decision-making power, which is their most valuable resource, on deciding what clothes to wear. Yeah. And some people spend an hour picking outfits to go out. You don't have to put your hands up, anyone who does that, by the way. My wife, for sure. Straight after this, we're driving down to London. We've got a family baby shower, and we've spent an incredible amount of time talking about clothes. Which is cool, because it's important for me, not so much. 5 minutes, done. But these very successful people, they don't even want to make those decisions. So it's interesting, isn't it, how we maybe waste our mental energy. Because sometimes don't you just feel tired when you've just been thinking all day? Yeah. Right? You just exhaust yourself before you've even gotten out of bed. Yeah. Oh no, now I have to do the whole day? To spend like 2 hours beating myself up. But it's because our brain is wired that way, and our subconscious mind, I think of it like a river. So the river flows in the direction of least resistance. Right? That's why it meanders around. Your thoughts will go in the direction of least resistance. And so you have to channel and change the direction that river flows in. There's loads of different ways. For me personally, I do lots of sessions with different energy healers, theta healers. I get massages to rewire my nervous system and to relax myself. Relaxation is a really important thing. Here's a question. If you want to channel this amazing divine energy, do you think it's going to be easiest to do that when you're really stressed or really relaxed? Relaxed. Really relaxed, right? So how much time do we make every day for relaxation? Nice. Nice. I think we'll be better than most in this room, won't we? Because we know how important that is. Your parasympathetic nervous system, when you activate that, it changes your biochemistry. You get into this rest and regeneration state, and your brainwaves literally slow down. So when I do client sessions, we want to get clients into what's called a theta brainwave state. It's a really slow brainwave state. Most of you right now, because you're listening, your brainwaves are going pretty fast. And that's cool. But when you want to really go into the subconscious, you want to go and get the brainwaves nice and slow. And then when you first wake up in the morning, you're really programmable. It's a great time to program yourself. And just before you go to bed at night, your brainwaves slow down as well. So they're two really good times to program your mind. If you can start using this mental energy more effectively, your whole life will change.
Let's do it.
Would you like a top tip?
Yeah.
Don't watch the news. That will waste your mental energy. Oh my days. You will be worrying about what every person on the planet is thinking and going through right now. And there's crazy stuff happening. Like, everyone's going through their stuff. I'm going through my stuff. You're going through your stuff. If I was to now sit and listen to every single one of your stuff, I would be mentally exhausted. But
social media as well, I think, is a massive one.
Yeah.
I'm a big user on it, and I'm trying to like distance myself from it. Like I follow climate around the world, and I post quite a lot of stuff on that, and it's exhausting in a way. And I've noticed that now. And it's like, even though I've got like a bit of a following from what I'm doing, it's just shit, it's just bollocks. Like, you put in so much attention into something you can't control, and other people's lives, and trying to compare or better yourself, or do you know what I mean? And I think
I do, I absolutely do. So in October last year, Facebook and Instagram deleted my account overnight. I had 12,000 followers on Facebook, 5,000 on Instagram. I was using it for my business. I ran loads of events and it was great. I started posting truther videos about actual doctors, just like actual doctors saying actual things, like what their findings showed. And overnight, they just deleted my account. No warning, no anything, just gone.
That's where I'm at now. I'm completely blocked for just posting actual stuff about climate, because I follow the pole shift.
Right.
And I'm posting about volcanoes and coal expansion, and I've just been my account blocked for posting about the sun.
If you're getting blocked, you're probably talking about something important. So they deleted me. Now I was upset when that happened, because that was my business. Like there's financial consequences to that. All these contacts I'd made from all these events over, all around the world. How would they possibly find me? And they haven't found me yet. I don't know where they've all gone, but that probably tells me that it wasn't that important. And what it did do, it freed up my mental space so much. I was spending about 2 hours a day on Facebook because I was using it for my business, right? Freed up. What do you do now with an extra 2 hours a day? It's like 700 hours a year. Do a lot, right? So it's pretty cool. So we need to handle the mental energy side of things. Now, one of the biggest ways to improve your mental energy is honesty. If you are lying, that takes up so much mental energy. Become more honest. And I have a whole chapter in my book called Honesty Really Is the Best Policy. Even those small little white lies that you tell, stop it. Just stop. Who likes being lied to? No one. So why are you doing it to other people? Why are you doing it to yourself? I'm giving you a hard time, but it's true, right? It's easy, isn't it? Or sometimes more convenient than having an awkward conversation. But aren't we like transitioning past all of that nonsense and like being so out of alignment with who we really are? Don't we want to have real, genuine friends and connections? Yeah? Beautiful. So I'd love to give you an invitation. I'd like for you to turn to the person next to you, find a friend. And I'd love for you to tell them something that you don't usually tell people. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want. It's just something that you don't usually tell people. Just get a little bit honest with them. So you want to look them deep in the eyes, find someone, look them deep in the eyes, and just let a little bit of honesty into your life, into your heart. You've got 2 minutes to share. You can do 1 minute and then switch.
Come on, we've got this. Oh wait, you're on camera.
And when you're ready, you can switch. Just a little bit of honesty, whatever it is, as deep or as shallow as you want it to be. Fantastic. And when you've done that, you can give your partner a high five, tell them they're amazing. And thank you. So how did that feel to just share a little bit of honesty? Scary? Nice. How did it feel? Strange. Better. Awkward. Isn't it interesting that we're not used to being so honest? Vulnerable. Absolutely. Vulnerable in a good way. I like that. I like to play these games with people who I just meet. There's a game, we're not going to do it right now, we did it at a previous event 2 months ago. It's called Something I Don't Want You to Know About Me Is. So if you're at a dinner party with a load of people and you want to really get to know each other, you just play, hey, you know, do you want to play a game of Something I Don't Want You to Know About Me Is? And you all just take it in turns to share things you don't want the other people to know. And it's so beautiful. It takes a brave person to start that. Who likes small talk? Into small talkers? I can't be bothered with it. Like, in England, we have this tendency to talk about the weather all the time. I'm so bored of it. It's so boring. Come on, tell me what your biggest fear is. Tell me what your biggest dream is. Like, let's go deep. Okay, so mental energy. The third thing we want to focus on if you want to be powerful manifestors is your emotional self. And this is one of the biggest crimes against humanity, I think, that we do, is we don't teach young people how powerful their emotions are. We have like this acceptable range of emotion, and if you go over it, then you're naughty and you're bad and you have to go to the naughty corner. If you have a tantrum or you get angry or you get upset or whatever, it's like tolerated to a certain level and then off you go. But if any of you have ever lost somebody and you've really deeply grieved, like, how can you control that? You can't say stop feeling that.
It's beautiful as well. Like, we forget the beauty in those extremes.
Absolutely beautiful. Might not feel it when you're in it sometimes, but most of the songs and poems and art and the beautiful things that we really love that touch and move us, they come from a place of deep emotion. When people come, if you've ever seen like Dragon's Den or any of those shows where they pitch people, so often what gets the investor, it's not the thing, but it's the story, it's the reason why, it's the emotion behind it.
People by people.
Yeah, they can feel you, right? They go, wow, you really care about this, so I'll help you because I want to do that. But if you don't show your emotions, so often you're going to miss out on a lot of the beauty in this life. But it's actual energy. Who's ever been really angry, like really peed off? Anyone? Yeah, look around. Pretty much everybody, right. When you are angry, how much energy do you have? You have loads of energy. What do you do with it? Who uses their anger productively? Who channels it into something amazing? Beautiful. Look around, look around, look around. It is absolutely possible and normal, and is what a healthy being does. If anyone's ever seen a little kid, I have a daughter, she's 15 months old. She has a tantrum, and you know, she goes crazy. And then 5 minutes later, she's great. We don't do that, do we? Maybe we should. Maybe we should use our emotions more. Because that is how you're going to get a lot of power. It's how you're going to win a lot of people over, but it's also how you are going to literally get this energy in your system moving. Yeah?
I was just going to say, I came to terms recently with an anger monkey and didn't like to admit it. But the fact it goes from 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds is incredible how much energy you can get in that time. Yeah. So just to flip it on its head last minute, it's like, wow, I can't believe it just suddenly, you know, my adrenaline's going. You know, I've got all this energy in my hands. Whereas before I might want to hit a wall. But now I'm going to play piano now. I'm going to take it out on the piano.
Wow.
And then it comes
for piano.
Yeah. Nobody understands.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Use it. Yeah. Whatever your thing is you want to manifest, one of the reasons you probably haven't got it by now is because you're not allowing the emotion to come up. You're suppressing it in some way. Yeah. Who likes being around really real people? Okay, look around. So if you want to be around really real people, guess what you need to be? Really real. If your best mate comes to you and they're super upset, you don't say, oh, stop it. I hope you don't. If your best mate's really angry, you don't go, oh, come on, stop making a noise, stop being a nuisance.
Has anyone ever said that to anyone in here? Because I've had that.
Yeah, people do say it, right? Because they don't know how to deal with it, and it's one of the things that we should spend some time and energy really learning how to do. So emotions are super, super powerful, and then the final piece of this puzzle, if we want to raise our vibration, is looking at our spiritual self. So our spiritual self. Now, whether you believe in spirituality, whether you are totally science, I'm going to talk to you in a way that everybody can understand. You have a body, right? You have this physical vehicle, but that's not who you are. Your body changes all the time. Can you remember when you were a little kid, when you were like 5 years old? Your body was totally different to how it is now. You're the same being, energy, soul, person, in many ways. But your physical body is totally different. So if you're not your physical body, what are you? There's different names for it. I like to call it a soul. That feels good to me.
Light vessel.
Yeah, light, energy. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. That's called the law of conservation of energy. It's physics, if anyone else is a geek. So that energy that is you has been around since forever. There's no other way it could possibly be. And when you transition from this planet, that energy has to go somewhere. That's just physics. And where does it go? What does it become? You can find out. You can tap into those things. And if any of you are curious about it and you're feeling like, oh, maybe I want to get more into it, I can just tell you that when I started on this spiritual journey, I actually found how to be happy. And I used to feel lonely, but since I had this connection, I don't feel lonely anymore, because I know right now this room is filled with beautiful energy, divine love, whatever you want to call it, your ancestors, soul family, all different things you can call it, whatever feels good to you. We have so much energetic support. And if you're open to that and you want to experience it, I would love to help you do that. It's one of my favorite things to do. I do spiritual mentorships. So I help people to activate their psychic gifts and abilities. So if you want to activate your psychic gifts and abilities, let's just do a little test. Who already has psychic gifts and abilities? Raise your hand. You're feeling brave. Oh, nice. Look around. So good. Wonderful. So many of us do, and we can all tap into this. Whether it's deep healing, whether you're a healer, whether it's seeing visions, whether it's hearing things, or your knowingness. There's these clair senses. You can look up the clair senses, C-L-A-I-R. There's loads of different ones. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience. There's a cool one called clairalience. Have you ever heard of that one? Does anybody know that one? What's that one do? It's a super smelling ability. So if you've ever seen a dog, when a dog smells something, they've trained dogs now to smell cancer. They've trained dogs to smell genetic disorders, what they call disorders, right? So a dog can smell a genetic disorder. They can smell your DNA, basically. Some humans can do that too. There's so many of these superpowers, and it's not science fiction, it's science fact. You can go and read these stories. There's loads of books written about it. And it makes life so much more playful. Life is like the most beautiful movie ever, and it's my absolute privilege to be able to share this kind of stuff and maybe just plant some seeds of how we can change our lives. So if we just do a quick recap. If we want to raise our vibe, if we want to manifest powerfully, we have to have a clear, clean physical vessel. And you will decide how important that is to you. Whether the Doritos and the ice cream are more important. You can make something called nice cream, by the way. You blend up bananas, you blend up berries, you can put cacao in there, whatever you want, and it's healthy ice cream. It's literally made from fruit, called nice cream. It just tastes the same. You don't have to go without, by the way. You can make raw vegan pizzas, you know? You seen them? Amazing. Go on Instagram, look up some raw vegan pizzas. You'll see, they're beautiful. Clear up the physical vessel. We need to become the master of our minds if we want to manifest powerfully. if you're getting distracted, if you're getting taken out of the present moment, if you're not able to focus, focusing is a really important one. It's going to be very unlikely and difficult for you to take your idea and make it into something real. And maybe you can get other people in your team who are great thinkers and great focusers and great doers, and I would definitely suggest doing that. But as the leader, as the CEO, as the visionary, if you're not able to do those things, focus and have a clear mind, it's unlikely people are going to put their trust in you. And so I think I really value people who are on the path. It's not like you have to be a Buddhist monk, like meditating under a waterfall, you know, like Om or anything. But if you're showing willingness and you're getting better all the time, like I love those kind of people. Emotions, understand them and use them. Biggest source of energy, so much power in there, and most people were wasting it. And then the spiritual side. There's a universal principle I just want to share with you, and then just to kind of round this off. All of these different universal laws and forces, some people know about the law of attraction. There's loads of universal laws that basically make this world work. This world is like a big mathematical equation. It's a big geometric pattern. It's a beautiful, complex one. But there are laws, and they are here as tools for you to use, but you have to ask. Ask. Isn't this what a lot of people do when they hit rock bottom? They're on their knees and they're saying, oh God, someone please help me, and then help comes. But we don't have to wait till you get to rock bottom to ask for help. Ask. From a real place of connectedness and in your heart, you'll be amazed at the support that will come. And if I can help you, I would love to do that. If anyone wants to talk more, you can put your details down on the forms at the back. It says register your interest. You can put your name, number. We can put you in touch with any of the other speakers. We can put you on our mailing list. We can invite you to other events. We can talk about mentorships, loads of different things, whatever feels good for you. I'm here to serve. And just really feel in your heart, just as we close, just maybe take a deep breath, close your eyes, and take a moment to feel how far you have come on your journey. Like you are here, you are doing so amazing. To be able to receive these words, you are doing so incredibly well. And if you can take that feeling, that knowingness, if you can be proud of yourself, you can feel how much love there is for you here and that in the cosmos, your whole life will be different, and you will never ever need to feel lonely or ever have to worry about if you are on your own, because you can never be on your own. We're all connected, and when we run events like this, we get to meet our beautiful soul family, brothers, sisters, friends. Thank you all so much from my heart to yours for listening. I'd love to invite you and encourage you on this break now. Go and share with someone what your vision is. Go and share with someone what you're manifesting. There's a lot of power happens when you share your visions with people. Thank you so much. I've been Luke Scott III, and have a beautiful break before the next speakers.